Take this simple test. Would you rather receive a guaranteed 500 toilets or have a 60% chance of winning 1,000 toilets? Your answer reveals more than you think about game theory, the mathematical framework that explains why we make the choices we do. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to calculate the optimal strategy for any decision. These principles guide billion-dollar corporate strategies and international diplomatic relations. Think about it. The same concepts that determine your choices in this simple test are at work in boardrooms and negotiation tables across the globe. Two prisoners sit in separate cells, facing a life-altering decision: remain silent and trust their partner in crime, or betray them for a chance at freedom. Their emotions run high, torn between loyalty and self-preservation. What they don't realize is that mathematics has already predicted their choices through game theory. Imagine yourself in their position. Your heart races as you weigh your options, the desire to trust battling against the fear of being played for a fool. This classic prisoner's dilemma reveals the complex interplay between emotion and logic in decision-making. Psychological studies have shown that many individuals default to betrayal when faced with this dilemma. The fear of being the only one to remain silent, potentially facing the worst outcome, often trumps the rational choice to cooperate. This behavior aligns with the concept of loss aversion, where the fear of losing outweighs the potential for gain. The game theory matrix maps out all possible outcomes based on the choices of each player. If both prisoners betray each other, they each receive a moderate sentence. If both remain silent, they achieve a better outcome with shorter sentences. However, if one betrays while the other remains silent, the betrayer goes free while their partner faces the harshest sentence. This matrix exposes a cruel irony. While cooperation leads to the best collective outcome, the fear of being betrayed often pushes individuals towards mutual betrayal. It's a perfect illustration of how simple choices can reveal complex mathematical patterns in human behavior. The prisoner's dilemma teaches us a valuable lesson. Our instincts, honed by evolution for quick decision-making, can sometimes lead us astray in complex strategic situations. By understanding the mathematical underpinnings of these choices, we gain the power to make more informed decisions, potentially overcoming our innate biases. As we explore game theory further, we'll discover how these principles apply to a wide range of situations, from personal relationships to corporate strategy. We'll see how understanding these mathematical patterns can give us an edge in negotiations, help us navigate complex social dynamics, and even shed light on the nature of cooperation and competition in society. But there's more to this story than just numbers. While mathematics can predict our choices with surprising accuracy, it can't fully explain the rich tapestry of human decision-making. Factors like emotion, cultural background, and personal values all play crucial roles in shaping our choices. As we continue our exploration, we'll uncover the fascinating interplay between cold logic and human nature. Imagine a world where trust is a liability and betrayal leads to the best outcomes. It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? Yet in certain scenarios, game theory demonstrates exactly that. Are we hardwired to make suboptimal choices in complex, strategic situations? Let's revisit our two prisoners, each grappling with the decision to trust or betray. While our moral compass might point towards cooperation, game theory reveals a startling truth. Betrayal can sometimes be the most rational choice. This concept, known as the Nash equilibrium, shows us that in certain situations, there's no incentive for any player to change their strategy, even if it seems counterproductive. The trust game, a variation of the prisoner's dilemma, further illustrates this point. In this scenario, cooperation could yield better outcomes for both players. Yet, game theory predicts that a rational player might still choose to betray. Why? Because it's the safest option, guaranteeing a certain outcome regardless of what the other player does. This highlights the tension between rational strategy and emotional decision-making. To understand this better, let's explore the game theory matrix for our prisoners. If both remain silent, they each get a year in prison. If one betrays while the other stays silent, the betrayer goes free while their partner serves 3 years. If both betray, they each get 2 years. At first glance, mutual silence seems ideal. But here's where it gets tricky. From an individual perspective, betrayal always leads to a better personal outcome, regardless of what the other person does. The implications of this are profound. It suggests that, in many situations, what we perceive as irrational behaviour might actually be the most strategic choice. This explains why companies might engage in price wars even though it hurts everyone's profits. Take the airline industry, for example. Airlines often slash ticket prices to gain market share, even though it reduces overall industry profitability. But here's where human behaviour throws a wrench in the gears of pure mathematical logic. Studies have shown that in real-world scenarios, people often deviate from these predicted Nash equilibriums. Emotional factors, cultural norms, and personal values frequently lead to decisions that prioritise cooperation over pure self-interest. This deviation from rational behaviour isn't necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it's part of what makes human decision-making so complex and fascinating. Our ability to consider factors beyond immediate self-interest, like long-term relationships, reputation, or moral principles, often leads to better outcomes in the long run. So, while game theory provides powerful insights into strategic decision-making, it's crucial to remember that it's a simplification of reality. The true art lies in balancing the cold logic of mathematics with the nuanced reality of human behaviour. As we continue to unravel the complexities of game theory, we'll see how these principles play out in various real-world scenarios. From corporate boardrooms to international diplomacy, understanding the interplay between rational strategy and human behaviour can provide invaluable insights. But mathematics tells only half the story. While game theory can predict optimal strategies, it can't fully account for the rich tapestry of human decision-making. To truly understand why we make the choices we do, we need to look beyond the numbers and explore the hidden patterns of human behaviour. We've explored how individuals might approach the prisoner's dilemma, but what happens when we zoom out to examine thousands of choices across different societies? The patterns that emerge challenge our understanding of human behaviour and reveal fascinating insights into decision-making on a grand scale. Large-scale studies of prisoners' dilemma scenarios have unveiled clear patterns that are far from random. One of the most striking discoveries is the profound impact of cultural background on strategic choices. Cross-cultural studies have consistently shown that collectivist societies, such as those found in East Asia, tend to exhibit higher levels of cooperation compared to more individualistic cultures. This isn't a minor difference. It's a significant trend that reshapes how we understand strategic thinking across the globe. Consider Japan and Scandinavian countries, where strong social norms around cooperation prevail. Participants from these nations were more likely to choose mutual cooperation in prisoners' dilemma scenarios. In contrast, those from more competitive cultures, like the United States, showed a greater tendency towards betrayal. These findings highlight how deeply our societal values can influence even our most personal decisions. But culture isn't the only factor at play. Surprising correlations have emerged between trust behaviours and various demographic factors. For instance, younger participants were found to be more likely to betray than their older counterparts. This suggests that age and life experience play crucial roles in shaping our approach to trust and cooperation. The implications of these patterns extend far beyond academic interest. They offer valuable insights into how we can foster better cooperation in real-world scenarios. Studies have shown that interventions aimed at increasing trust can significantly enhance cooperation rates in prisoners' dilemma games. This has profound implications for everything from business negotiations to international diplomacy. These findings raise intriguing questions about the nature of our choices. If our decisions are heavily influenced by cultural background, age, and other factors, how much of our decision-making is truly autonomous? The answer, it seems, lies somewhere in the middle. While these patterns are undeniably strong, human behaviour remains complex and unpredictable. Individual choices can still defy expectations, and personal values continue to play a significant role in decision-making. As we uncover these hidden patterns of human choice, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our societies. We see how mathematical models can predict broad trends in human behaviour, offering insights that can be applied to everything from marketing strategies to public policy decisions. But this is just the beginning of our journey into the depths of game theory and human behaviour. As we continue to explore, we'll uncover even more surprising connections between mathematics and the choices we make every day. The biggest revelations are yet to come, promising to reshape our understanding of decision-making in ways we never imagined possible. Game theory isn't just about understanding past decisions. It's actively shaping our world in ways that might surprise you. From the supermarket to international diplomacy, these principles influence choices that affect millions of lives every day. Let's start with your weekly grocery run. Ever wonder why that box of cereal suddenly dropped in price? It's not just about costs and profit margins. Supermarkets use game theory to anticipate their competitors' moves and maximize their gains. That price drop, you see, it's a calculated move in an ongoing strategic game. In the corporate world, game theory guides high-stakes decisions. Take the tech industry, for example. When a company like Apple considers releasing a new iPhone model, they're not just thinking about their product. They're analysing potential responses from competitors like Samsung, consumer behaviour patterns, and market dynamics, all through the lens of game theory. The stakes get even higher in international relations. Nations use these strategies to predict the actions of other countries, influencing decisions about everything from trade agreements to military operations. Consider nuclear deterrence. It's essentially a global-scale version of the prisoner's dilemma we explored earlier. Countries maintain nuclear arsenals not to use them, but to create a strategic equilibrium where conflict becomes too costly for any party to consider. Game theory is also revolutionizing public health strategies. Policymakers use these models to predict how individuals will respond to vaccination campaigns, balancing individual choice with collective benefit. It's helping design strategies that encourage widespread participation in the face of varying personal incentives. What's truly fascinating is how these applications reveal something profound about human nature. Game theory shows us that in many situations, what seems like irrational behaviour might actually be the most strategic choice. It explains why cooperation isn't always the optimal strategy, even when it might lead to better overall outcomes. This insight has universal implications. It challenges our assumptions about rationality and decision-making, forcing us to reconsider how we approach everything from personal relationships to global politics. Game theory doesn't just predict behaviour, it offers a framework for understanding the complex motivations behind our choices. As we've seen, the mathematics of game theory extends far beyond abstract scenarios. It's a lens through which we can view and understand the intricate web of decisions that shape our world. From boardrooms to international summits, These principles are at work, guiding choices that ripple through society. But, as powerful as game theory is, it's important to remember that human behaviour is complex and often defies simple explanations. Which brings us to our final insight, one that might challenge everything we've learned so far. Game theory offers powerful insights into decision-making, but our journey through its intricacies reveals a fascinating paradox. While mathematics can predict optimal strategies with remarkable accuracy, human behaviour often defies these models. This tension between rationality and unpredictability is at the heart of strategic interactions. The true power of game theory lies not in providing foolproof solutions, but in equipping us with tools to navigate complex situations. By understanding the underlying principles, we can anticipate outcomes, recognize hidden incentives, and make more informed choices. Yet, the most profound insight may be that sometimes the most rational decision is to transcend pure mathematical logic. Human decision-making is a rich tapestry woven from self-interest, relationships, moral principles, and societal impact. This complexity adds an element that no model can fully capture, reminding us that while game theory is invaluable, it's just one piece of the puzzle in understanding the depths of human behaviour and strategic thinking.